I want to bring in General Jack Keane. He's a Fox News senior strategic analyst. He's been here with us ever since this conflict erupted. And, sir, before we get to you, I want to play something from President Trump about that key decision about Midnight Hammer in Iran. Watch.
So we dropped 14 bombs on Iran's key nuclear facilities, totally, as I said originally, obliterating them. And that's been confirmed, and everybody understands it. Together we stopped the #1 state sponsor of terror from obtaining the world's most dangerous weapons. And if you think about it, if we didn't do that, and assuming we made the same deal that we have today, there'd be a dark cloud over this deal. And #1, it wouldn't happen because the other Arab and Muslim nations really wouldn't feel comfortable making the deal that we have now, right? If Iran had that nuclear weapon that they were about 2 months away from having. They would have had it in 2 months or maybe less than that. They were right at, this was our last shot.
It's an incredible example of soft and hard power working together to get to a result where you have these 20 hostages released today.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, when President Trump took power here, he recognized full well, obviously the war had been going on for some time, and he recognized that his predecessors' policies of trying to restrict Israel from using their full power, from telling them not to go in the southern part of Gaza, Rafah, from telling them not to attack Hezbollah, telling them certainly don't attack Iran. We need to work and negotiate with Iran. President Trump came into power and recognized that given what took place here, that Israel had to achieve a military victory. He instinctively got that, and he knew that that military victory would be used as leverage to possibly get back to Abraham Accords and an enduring peace in the Middle East. I think he got that right from the beginning. Therefore, all restrictions on weapons, told Prime Minister Netanyahu, who I totally agree with him, is an extraordinary wartime commander. I compare him to Churchill. Determination, dogged determination to succeed despite the obstacles internally and externally that he was facing. Victory was always in his sights, and he supported him in Gaza to finish them, to go into deal with Hezbollah. He supported his attack into Iran, and then we delivered the decisive blow. And even at the end here, when everybody was fundamentally opposed to the IDF going back into Gaza City, because everybody wanted the hostages back, Netanyahu is saying, I want to put military pressure on them, and hopefully that will be the deciding factor. He moves 1 million people out of Gaza City. It takes him 3 weeks to do it. He surrounds the city, and he surrounds Hamas. And that reality takes hold. And then President Trump reaches out to the Arab and Muslim nations and say, can we apply some diplomatic pressure here? We've got maximum military pressure being applied to Hamas. How about supporting some diplomatic pressure on Hamas? And enter Turkey, the Qataris, and also Egypt, putting that pressure on them and isolating them and recognizing, hey, there's no future here for us. The money's going away, our political support is going away, despite the nonsense that the Europeans were saying about representing a Palestinian state at the UN. That was symbolic. They were not going to get the kind of support that they needed. And that, applying the military pressure and supporting Netanyahu and his military victory, and also diplomatic pressure, brought what we're seeing today, with the huge potential for a major geopolitical paradigm shift in the Middle East, something we haven't seen in decades, and it will last for decades if they're able to pull this off, because the momentum is really on that side in terms of enduring peace in the region.
Well, General, you know, I don't think there's a doubt that, you know, the pressure from Turkey, Qatar, and Egypt really is what sealed the deal here, where Hamas realized, you know, looked around and realized that it had no more friends anymore willing to support and help and give it influence. What happens to Hamas next? I mean, this cannot be long-lasting peace. I know Americans watching, we have seen this region torn apart for decades, and it's exhausting. And this moment is miraculous. But how do we deal with this if Hamas truly does not go away? And it's such a different group from Al-Qaeda or ISIS because it's a resistance group. So what has to happen to Hamas, and what do these key players have to do to make sure it never returns to power?
Yeah, well, first of all, who are they now? They've lost 20,000 plus of their fighters. They've lost their first and second tier leadership. They've got a lot of teenagers that are under arms. They still have some hardened fighters, to be sure, but that's significantly less than what it used to be. I think they likely do not want to give up their arms. They have said that. The International Stabilization Force is supposed to disarm them. I'm skeptical about whether they'll be able to do that or not. We're still stitching together what that really is. The Israelis have stepped back. And if Hamas doesn't disarm and somehow still wants to maintain a level of control because they've got the weapons to do that, Prime Minister Netanyahu's got the green light from President Trump to go back in there and finish it. Nobody wants that to happen. I think there really is a good chance, although phase 2 is going to be challenging. Just putting the force together is challenging. Let's face it. And a lot of these countries certainly don't want to go in to Gaza and have Hamas begin to snipe at them and attack them, etc. So this is a challenging thing that's in front of us, to get rid of Hamas. But I do think the momentum is there, and hopefully that can take place. And listen, they're never going to have the influence they had before. What Israel is doing in Hezbollah is the model that'll take place in Gaza. They know full well, and I had this discussion with Prime Minister Netanyahu, that you never again can ever let a proxy on your border develop capabilities that can hurt you. And they know that. And it was like on 9/11 lesson, we can't let Al-Qaeda have a sanctuary. And they've learned that lesson. And if they ever rise again, they're going to go right after them. They're not going to wait months or years till they got rockets and missile factories and real capability again. They have conducted hundreds of attacks against Hezbollah since the ceasefire. It doesn't get a lot of publicity, but Hezbollah cannot rise again. And look what's happening in Lebanon. Lebanon is telling Hezbollah to disarm, and they want to normalize relationships with Israel. This is all happening as the successful use of military force in the region. So whether Hamas is on its last legs or not, it appears to be, for sure, militarily and certainly politically, and likely financially. It may take some weeks for that to manifest itself. So we got real work ahead of us, putting this force together, supporting that force, and we'll have a lot to say about how things are done there, certainly. President Trump is going to have major influence at this meeting he's going to. But there's challenge there, but there's a lot of hope there as well, because the momentum has absolutely shifted to the military domination and the results that Israel has achieved in the region, and the huge strategic and enduring peace opportunities that are there. And everybody in that region now wants that. They're on the same page for that. Certainly, some of the countries want to have more influence than others. Turkey, you got to keep your eye on what they're doing. Egypt, just as well. But there is a common page here. They want this over. They have had it. And they want peace and stability in the region. And that is the common page that President Trump is leading. And good things are likely going to come of it.
General Jack Keane, thank you very much, and stand by for us as we watch Air Force One there on the tarmac at Ben Gurion Airport in Israel. The president, with a fast-moving schedule today, has many, many events, and he is on his way to Egypt now, where he will sign the peace agreement, the peace deal that he has brought together with so many of his partners, the relationships he's built over the years with his Mideast partners. So that will be quite a moment to see as well. Dana.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.